Hello friends, happy Saturday. Welcome to the HPP. I am Adam Benjamin Coleman. Or, if you want to say it another way, I'm ABC here at the HPP. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well. I thought I would bring you this sunny shirtless rendition to just, spice things up a little bit. Figured going topless never hurt the views. Also to show what little gainage there's been made from the current training protocol and such. So, on that note, lately, if you care, which, by the way, everything we're going to talk about today is either theoretical and an example or intended for laboratory research purposes only. I am not a doctor. I am not anything that you should listen to and imitate in any way, shape, or form, all right? Do what works for you. Don't break the law. Be a good human being. Take what you learn and hear here, leave it here, right? Okay, so, having said all that now, I am working out about 5 days a week, it ends up being. I take rest days as they are needed. I'm doing something that I recommend a lot of people do, but I've never really done too much myself, and that is a push, a pull, a squat, and an arm day. So 4-day split essentially. In the past, for me, it's been individual muscle groups specifically on workout days. So in other words, it would be like chest, back, then shoulders, or a rest day after that. And then after shoulders, it'd be legs, and then arms, and then repeat again. So for whatever reason. Well, not whatever reason, I know what some of the reasons are, but with the push-pull squat thing, I'm doing all pressing movements on one day, all pulling movements one day, all squatting movements on one day. So with the pressing movements especially, you can be doing more than one muscle group on a day. So when I say pressing movements, we're talking about overhead presses, lateral presses, so like bench press and military press. So obviously you're doing some chest and some shoulder. And being that it's only a 4-day split, that's going to come back in rotation in like 5 days, so you're not even getting a full calendar week to rest, which is about what I was giving individual muscle groups when I was training the other way, and doing one body part, or one muscle group per session. I feel like with the more broad spectrum, the 4-day split, most of the movements tend to be compound movements that end up getting selected. You're not able to select as many movements specific to each body part. Well, I guess you could if you wanted to spend 3 hours in the gym, but that's totally counterproductive in my opinion, and I try not to spend much more than an hour in there, at least on weightlifting specifically. If you're in there doing cardio or posing or whatever you do, then that might be different, but for the most part I try to get it done in or around an hour. So compound movements, doing more of those, which, as you may or may not know, they're compound because they require the combination of more than one joint working to move the weight. So like with a bench press, for example, you have the shoulder, the elbow working together, so you're getting multiple muscles in the front deltoid, pec major, tricep, so on and so forth. So being that you're doing more compound movements, you tend to burn more calories if you're trying to go for weight loss. I obviously am not going for weight loss. I'm trying to go for some quality weight gain. And that weight gain so far has been about 12 pounds in 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. And the abs are still, they're still pretty solid. Anywho, more compound movements are doing me good. I feel like I'm getting stronger and growing back into something resembling what I used to be like. For those of you who don't know, I have competed at bodybuilding before, and I was around 200 pounds at 10% body fat for a good amount of time. That's just kind of how I walked around. Never competed bigger than 175, so that's obviously something that I'm going to change in the future, is changing my stage weight without fluctuating as much in my off season is the overall plan. So we'll get back to that in a minute, but the workout split I'm enjoying. You know, I like that the days rotate quick with just 4 days being in the split, so I don't have to wait very long to get back to pulls or presses or squats or whatever it is. And I feel like weak or lagging muscle groups, which on me is kind of all of them at this point, but mostly the legs and the arms are the two areas that I see the biggest need for the addition of density, like immediately. So I get to hit them faster is where I was going with that. You know, like my chance to work them out again comes sooner than it did with the 6 or 7 day split. So I'm liking that. It seems to be yielding results so far, but as we know, you know, periodization is necessary because your body will get used to whatever stimulus you're throwing at it in a certain amount of time. That time varies, but you know, your body will adapt to it. So, you know, things will change. The rep range changes. Right now I'm trying to spend at least 2 weeks on the same rep range before I change. And with the rep ranges, I went back to kind of like what our coaches did for us in football, where we'd have like a week where it was 4 sets of 5 reps, and then the next week it would be 4 sets of 10 reps. And then the week after that, it was like 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, getting down closer to a 1 rep max. And then we'd start all over again at the 4x5, and you try to keep a weight and move it up in terms of what you're doing for reps and what you're doing for close to max, you know, and work on a percentage so that you're constantly improving and you can have measurable gain, you know, because if you're not really seeing any progress or measuring any progress, then, you know, how do you know if it's working? Yeah, too many unanswered questions. So that's for the split. Progress, man, I feel like I've been making a lot of progress, but that's, I guess, because I was so skinny and so removed from the weight room that, you know, I probably could have just looked at a weight and seen some hypertrophy progress. But I have a lifting partner, my girlfriend, which is sometimes dangerous, sometimes will end a relationship. This so far has gone pretty good. She's new to the weight room, and she seems to be enjoying it so far. You know, so it's cool to watch someone else learn, and she holds herself to a very high standard. She's hard on herself, so I have no doubt that, you know, she's going to continue to push herself to try to keep up with me, which is asinine. Not because I'm so awesome and like a talented athlete that no one can work out with, but because she's new to the gym, a female, and at a completely different place physiologically than I am. And so I wouldn't expect her or anyone like her to even come close to keeping up, but she's gonna. I can tell she's a fighter. So it's fun to watch her grow and improve. That's the coolest part of progress that I've seen so far. I mean, when we talk about gym progress, it's always like, you know, how big are your arms or how much are you benching, at least for dudes. But, you know, we don't really think about a lot of the other intrapersonal things that people have to overcome or improve upon to even go to the gym regularly and feel good about it. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I don't know if any of y'all out there have had problems with anxiety or depression or know people who have, but it's a motherfucker. You know, excuse my language, but it's it can be really debilitating sometimes. You know, you can't even leave the house. You're afraid to answer the phone. You just like this impending feeling of doom, and you don't know why. And it's just it's exhausting, is what it is. You know, and you just you're tired of living that way. I know I did. You know, it's very, very frustrating. Like, I had so much anxiety at some points in my life. I left my own birthday party, man. You know, like it's just times when I shouldn't have had to be anxious at all, and I'm just like about to just jump out of my skin. So, you know, a lot of people have to overcome that to even get to the gym. And I always joke with my clients, like, you know, you already did the hard part. You walked through the door. Like, showing up and dedicating yourself to being there and getting there, that really, like, from there, it's all downhill, honestly. You know, even if it is leg day. That is the hardest part. You made the commitment, you showed up. And not only is that the hardest part, it's also like 99% of success in life, just showing the fuck up. You know, you can't win or succeed if you're not there. So, I heard a very interesting thought today. You know, everyone has fears, whether we admit it or not, whether we know it or not. Sometimes we're not even aware of the fact that fear is driving us and what that fear is based upon. I know for me, I am afraid of failure. I'm also afraid of success, conversely. It's very strange. We'll expand more on that as we go, but failure, being alone, and feeling less than, basically, or unnecessary. Those are three things that are definitely not cool for me. And I kind of lost my train of thought on where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so the thought I heard, there's a lot of people in this world, myself included, at certain points, that will not try because they're afraid to fail. Right? And then this thought was, it's possible, just possible, that you could end up failing at something you don't like in life. Because you got to do something. You can't just sit around, right? So if you're afraid to go for the job as an astronaut, but you go for the janitor at the NASA facility, and you get that job, even though it's not what you want, there's still a chance that you could fail. And how would it feel to fail at something that you didn't like or want to choose, as opposed to something that you love and are really passionate about? So the idea was, the person giving this talk, and I agree, would rather fail at something you've chosen and love than to think, well, I'm not going to do that because it's too scary. It's going to take too much work and commitment. So I'm just going to do this lesser than, more remedial task instead, and just kind of rest on my laurels. And then you fail at that, man, and you just get rocked. Now your self-worth is just zero. You wouldn't pee on your own ashes to put yourself out. And that's not a good mindset to be in, man. You need to be your biggest fan, and that's whether you're, God, this fly is bugging me. I've even showered this month. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to hold yourself in high regard, and to have standards for yourself, and to believe that you are worth those standards. And to do that in a proud but not arrogant way, in a confident but not conceited way. Knowing your worth and setting boundaries for yourself is not the same thing as being an arrogant asshole. It's not, And usually the people who say that it is are people that have no self-worth and no real value established for themselves. Everybody loves to throw rocks at shit that shines. They don't have it, so they don't want anyone else to have it. That's called a hater, right? They exist, and you know what? God bless them. We need them. My last haters joined the fan club. I need some more. Different strokes for different folks, man. You got to remember that those people that are hating and seem to go out of their way to make other people's lives miserable, there's a reason. There's an emptiness in them that they're trying to fill and trying to make up for, and so we need to actually pray for them and realize that they're sick, spiritually, emotionally. So yeah, progress is not just based on hypertrophy. Performance, not just based on hypertrophy. Things that we're going to talk about on this channel, not just based on hypertrophy. And I encourage you not only to like and subscribe, but participate. Send me a comment, question, concern, funny poem, amusing anecdote. Shit, tell me what you had for breakfast. I don't care. Just participate. I welcome that, and I need that. So thank you to those of you who have subscribed and continue to watch, and I hope that you get something out of it. I'm always open to suggestions for videos as well. This kind of segues into another thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is mindset and how you view things. And we'll keep it on the topic of the gym here, but for those of you who are not familiar, your body reacts differently when you're stressed out than it does when you are not stressed out. So specifically, you produce, several hormones, but one of them, probably the most impactful, if that's a word, cortisol. So cortisol is something that your body produces in times of stress, and it actually breaks down inflammation. It's a natural corticosteroid, basically. So your body thinks it's doing you a favor, and humans have screwed that mechanism up like we do everything else, because we worry incessantly about everything. Things that we can't control, things that may not, probably not, won't even happen, we worry about. So our body is in overdrive, producing adrenaline, producing cortisol, producing, you know, all these other hormones that in excess, when mistimed, can make you sick. They're not good to just have and run amok in your body. And if you're trying to put on any muscle tissue, it'll definitely slow that down. It'll definitely impede that process. So your mindset is key to progress, right? If you believe you can, you're right. If you believe that you can't, you're right. So you decide. You decide. All you can do is take a step in that direction. You know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just move forward. Just work towards your goal. It's one of the things I love about bodybuilding is every single thing that you do on a daily basis is going to take you closer to or further from where you want to be physically. So back to the mindset thing. That is no different. In fact, it's probably more important. If your mindset is negative, you are not focusing on solutions, you're living in problems, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time. Life's going to be difficult, you're going to be lonely, and you're not going to get what you think that you deserve and what you're working for. You have to believe that you can do these things and that you are worthy of these things and deserving of these things and that they're possible and attainable. So, you know, a positive mindset is key. Anything that you are doing, it is necessary. I have seen people give up who have had cancer and die a very short time later because their attitude went from fighting, doing whatever it took, to giving in and realizing that their time was done and they were ready to go home. You know, and it's really no different on smaller, more fatal tasks. Sorry, I'm watching a wasp here, making sure he doesn't like sting me in the forehead while I'm doing this video. You know, literally, like I've watched people like, I'm tired, I can't fight anymore. And, you know, very short time later, they go home. So you got to keep your mind right. You know, you have to believe that it's possible and that your goal is worthwhile and that there are certain things in life that are worth believing in and worth fighting for, you know. And once you find those things, you know, you have a driving purpose, something to keep you going. Because like we've discussed before, if you don't have something bigger than you to keep you moving forward, eventually you're going to come against a problem that's much bigger than you are and you're going to get your ass whooped, you know. So you've got to have something bigger than you that is your why. It gives you the reason for getting up in the morning and for continuing to get back up when you fall and pick the weight back up after it comes down on you and just all that stuff, you know, onward. So the mindset will go right into goals and purpose. So, you know, with a positive mindset, you got to apply that to something. And I'm a firm believer that each one of us has a purpose on this earth or a calling of some type. For me personally, I believe that I am a healer, not a brain surgeon or a doctor, but, you know, that's why I'm going to school for massage therapy. It's why I became a certified fitness trainer. And then upon that became a senior specific trainer and a pre and postnatal exercise, you know, trainer, and just all these specific subcategories of the population, because I don't want someone to ever feel like what has changed my life and countless others is not available to them because they're different. Because I'm old, because I'm pregnant, because I have a disability. No, it's still available. It's still there. It might be a little different path to get to the end result, but it's still available. You know, we all should be given the same opportunities to succeed in this life. You know, and I'm blessed beyond measure that, you know, I'm healthy and have the ability to even make this video and realize some of these things. You know, but our purpose and what we are called to do in this life is a deal breaker. You know, a great deal of energy and happiness and sadness goes into that for people and their development of their character and who they are. So I would encourage you to really, if you haven't narrowed that down, to do some soul searching and kind of figure that out, or to think about what you want it to be, no matter how old you are. And then goals. Once you have that purpose, you know what you're working towards. What are you going to do about it? Don't just sit there and say, well, I want to be financially secure, so I want to be a millionaire. That's a pretty broad goal from where you are, at least if you're starting where I am. So set a goal for, like, first I want to get a bank account, and then I want to get $1,000 in that bank account, and then I want to get a savings account, and then I want to put 10% of every check that I earn into that savings account and not touch it. And then by the time I'm 40, I want to have $500,000. And then, you hit all these goals. You see where I'm going? All of a sudden, you're halfway there. Now I want to be a millionaire doesn't seem like such a big jump. If you're in the weight room, you're not going to say, I want to bench 500 pounds when you're putting up 135 right now. That's a big jump. Why don't we say, in a month, I want to hit 185. And then after I hit 185, I want to hit 225 in 2 months, within 2 months. And then once I hit 225, then I want to shoot for 300. So on and so forth. You're constantly, it's just the carrot dangling in front of the horse. You got to keep going. Make sure you're setting goals that are realistic, attainable, that will fit into your life schedule, that aren't going to totally zap everyone around you. Because what good is achieving a goal if you don't have anyone to share it with, and the people that love you don't give a shit because you burned them all out in the process? Not too much fun, right? So pick goals, set goals that aren't going to flip your life upside down, that you can plug into the pie chart that is your efforts in life, and all the different areas that should be getting attention, because there's more than one. Family, God if you're religious, schoolwork if you're a student, just recreational reading and enhancing your mental capacity if you're not a student, because use it or lose it, man. Whether you're talking about biceps or brains, you gotta keep working it. And from what I observe in society, there are not enough people working their brains, man. I swear to God, if they don't have a cell phone in their hand, they don't know. They don't know how to count past 10. They don't know how to spell, don't know how to punctuate, don't know how to communicate, it's sad. It's sad. We have crippled ourselves. Definitely the generation of kids coming up now. But yeah, we just physically and mentally have incapacitated ourselves with this technology that was supposed to make life so much better. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the technology and the people that design it, because it's awesome, right? It's pretty amazing what human beings have done. But when that awesomeness replaces what has been a staple in life for flipping hundreds of years, you gotta analyze whether that's a worthwhile trade-off or not, We're real good at finding a shortcut and thinking that it's just the new way, without thinking, well, is this shortcut dangerous? Is it going through someone's backyard? Are there bears and lions on this shortcut? Do I need an off-road vehicle? These are questions you should have the answer to prior to taking the shortcut. So yeah, goal setting, positive thinking, and purpose, man. Make that your daily mantra as far as applying it to everything in life. It's easy to be positive when shit's going well, It's easy to talk to God when you need Him. Oh, please, Lord, don't let me go to jail. If you get me out of this one, I swear I'll never do this again. And blah, 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 blah. But when was the last time you prayed when everything was good? When you had a winning scratcher in your hand, and you got the new relationship, and a promotion, and a car. How many of you honestly stop at those points and say, God, thank you. Thank you for these blessings. I know that they're yours, and you're just letting me borrow them. Thank you for entrusting them to me. Please give me the strength and knowledge and integrity to take care of them as you would have me do. And show that it's possible for the next man to have these same things and blessings, because we're all deserving, right? When was the last time you said something like that to God? Instead of, oh, please get me out of this. If you help me this one last time, I'll never cheat on my wife or my taxes, and I'll stop kicking my dog, and I'll, No, it doesn't work that way. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if there's someone out there that's a little bit tired of the way their life is going, Make some changes, man. Make some changes. I did. Still have to every day. Struggle, but it's job security. Never gonna run out of things to improve about myself. Anyway, it's been almost a half hour. You guys have been listening to me ramble. Hopefully listening. Some of you probably tuned out or started picking your nose or something else. But like I said, like, subscribe, interact with me. Tell me a story. Shoot some information my way. Constructive information, please. Don't just be like, Adam, you're a douchebag. Because, I mean, I already know that. It's not new. Anyway, love, peace, and bacon grease. Be good humans. Stay swole, stay swell. And I will see y'all next time. Happy Saturday.